Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to do another example of using the table method. So, where do we start? We start by converting the system of inequalities to a system of equations. So, we're going to have 2x1 plus 6x2 plus our slack variable equals 18. And then 4x1 plus 2x2 plus another slack variable, so we're going to call it s2, equals 16. And x1, x2, s1, s2, all greater than or equal to 0. And I hope after seeing one example, I didn't want to explain this too much in the last video because it was starting to get really long. But hopefully you see now why this last line is important, because whenever we do that feasible column, we're making sure that all of these are greater than or equal to 0. Any of them that were negative, we threw out because they violated this last line right here. All right, so let's set up our table now. So x1, x2, s1, s2, feasible, which I'm normally just going to abbreviate as f now, and then our objective function, which is x1 plus x2. I'm just going to go ahead and draw these lines out. So now we need to do our zeros. So for our zeros, remember, start with x1 and x2, x1 and s1, x1 and s2. We're done with x1, so we move on to x2. So we can do x2 and s1, x2 and s2. We're done, we are done with x2, so now we move on to s1. And with that one, we have our 6 rows. We're good to go. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to do x1 and x2 first. So if we're doing x1 and x2, then we're going to have 2 times 0 plus 6 times 0 plus s1 equals 18. Then 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0 plus s2 equal to 16. Anything that's next to a 0 just goes away. So we have s1 equals 18, s2 equals 16. That first one is nice and easy. So 18 and 16. So next, we're going to move on to x1 and s1 being 0. So x1 equals 0, s1 equals 0. So if we plug that into our system, we're going to get 2 times 0 plus 6x2 plus 0 equals 18. And then for the second equation, 4 times 0 plus 2x2 plus s2 equals 16. get rid of everything with 0. And we have 6x2 equals 18. 2x2 plus s2 equals 16. Now we're going to solve the one that looks easiest first, the one with one variable. So if we solve that one, we just have to divide by 6 on both sides, and we'd get x2 equals 3. We can plug that in, so we get 2 times 3 plus s2 equals 16, which means 6 plus s2 equals 16, or s2 equals 10 if we just subtract the 6 from both sides. So in this one we learned x2 is 3, s2 is 10. Alright, so I hope you see that these do go a little bit quicker than they did in the last video. In the last video I just wanted to really make sure to break down every single step, but they're all not going to be, 30-minute problems or anything like that. Alright, so we got x1 and s1. So next up is x1 and s2 is 0. Alright, so we go ahead and plug in our zeros. So 2 times 0 plus 6x2 plus s1 equals 18. And 4 times 0 plus 2x2 plus 0 equals 16. Clean it up a bit. We now have 6x2 plus s1 equals 18, and 2x2 equals 16. The bottom one's the easy one to solve. We can just divide by 2 and get x2 equals 8. And that's what we'll plug back in to the other equation. So we're going to get 6 times 8 plus s1 equals 18, which is going to be 48 plus s1 equals 18. Subtract 48 from both sides, we get s1 equals negative 30. Alright, so we got x2 equals 8, s1 equals negative 30. Alright, next one. So we finished all the ones with x1. So we're going to move on now to x2 and s1. So x2 equals 0, s1 equals 0. We'll go and plug those in. So if we plug those in, we get 2x1 plus 6 times 0 plus 0 equals 18. And then 4x1 plus 2 times 0 plus s2 equals 16. Get rid of all of our zeros. So we're going to have 2x1 equals 18 and 4x1 plus s2 equals 16. The top one's the easy to solve, so divide both sides by 2, we get x1 equals 9. Then we're just going to take that 9 and plug it in to the other equation, so we get 4 times 9 plus s2 equals 16. So 4 times 9 is 36, plus s2 equals 16. Subtract 36 from both sides, and we get S2 equals negative 20. Alright, so we got 9 and negative 20. Two more. So the next one we're going to need to do is going to be x2 and s2 equals 0. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. Actually, I'll keep going in this line over here. So x2 equals 0 and s2 equals 0. Plug these in, we're going to get 2x1 plus 6 times 0 plus s1 equals 18, and then 4x1 plus 2 times 0 plus 0 equals 16. Cancel, cancel, cancel. That leaves us with 2x1 plus s1 equals 18, and 4x1 equals 16. We can divide both sides by 4 on that bottom one, and we get x1 equal to 4. And we plug that back in, so we get 2 times 4 plus s1 equals 18, which means 8 plus s1 equals 18. Subtract 8 from both sides, and we get s1 equals 10. So x1 equals 4, s1 equals 10. All right, our last row. It's going to be s1 equals 0, s2 equals 0. So we're going to get 2x1 plus 6x2 plus 0 equals 18, and then 4x1 plus 2x2 plus 0 equals 16. Cancel the zeros, but we're still going to be left with a system of 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this in different colors so you can really see that this is a new system of 2. And again, we can solve this any way we want to. Again, I'm just going to use elimination because for me, again, elimination is even faster than having to worry about how to put it in a calculator and writing down the augmented matrix. But if you would like to put it into the calculator, do it. It is perfectly fine. Just make sure you show us the augmented matrix so that we know you put it in the calculator. So if we multiply that top row by negative 2 though, we'll have negative 4x1 minus 12x2 equals negative 36. We can add them up. If we add them up, we get negative 10x2 equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 10 and we get x2 equals 2. Now we're just going to take that and plug it back in for one of the x2s in one of the equations. Let's say I go with this one because the numbers are smaller. Alright, doesn't matter though. So we get 4x1 plus 2 times 2 equals 16, which is 4x1 plus 4 equals 16. Subtract 4 on both sides, we get 4x1 equals 12 and divide by 4 to get x1 equals 3. So x1 equals 3, x2 equals 2. So 3, 2. All right, now for the easy column. Is it feasible? So for the first one, yes. Second one, yes. Third one, no, because there's a negative. So I'm going to go ahead and X off both of these. Fourth one, no, there's a negative. X off both. The last two are perfectly fine though, they're all positive. Now we start plugging it in. Remember, when we plug it in, we're only plugging in x1 and x2 because that's all that's in our objective function. The s1 and s2 were just a way to get the quarter points, but we never actually have to plug in s1 and s2 into our objective function. So if we start plugging this in, first one's always nice and easy. It's just going to be 0 plus 0 equals 0. The second one, we'd have 0 plus 3 equals 3. Down here we have 4 plus 0 equals 4. And then 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 is our biggest one. It came from 3 and 2. So if we're writing our final answer, we have that there's a max of 5 at 3, 2. And that's it. All right, we're going to do one more example in the next video. Just one more video, one more example. Again, hopefully you can see that this one was a bit faster. The more you practice these, the more that you get in a rhythm of doing them, the faster they'll get. They're not always going to take this long, I promise. All right, but with that, I'm going to end the video here, and I will see you for the last example.